Casey, first off, congrats on your win last weekend, pushing your record to a perfect 9-0. So I want to start things off because I saw some of your post-fight comments about how you felt like you were disrespected in the lead up to your fight against Roxanne Modafferi, because all the chatter was really more focused on her last fight and really not so much about your rise through the ranks. Why do you think that was the case?
I mean, she's had a lot of fights and she's obviously a pioneer of female mixed martial arts. She was doing this for a long time and paved the way for girls like me. So I knew that there was going to be a lot of talk about her, but I knew that I had to do something to make sure that I wasn't forgotten about and left in the background. So just made sure that I let everybody know that I was there, ready to throw down and fight too, and I was definitely going to get the win. And it was a little bit disrespectful, but obviously I understand in hindsight. I just had to make sure I wasn't forgotten about.
Mm-hmm. Well, you certainly will not be forgotten about, not only because of what you brought inside the Octagon during the fight, but also, Casey, you had quite the reaction following your split decision victory that sent Modafferi into retirement. So now that you've had some time to process everything, what do you think the boos from the crowd were more about? Do you think they were intended for you or more so for the judges?
I mean, a lot of people are telling me it was for the judges, and obviously it's a very emotional stage right after a fight, especially for someone who's like me. You know, I give everything into every fight that I have, and I'm super like raw and authentic, and I feel like things just come out of my mouth. So obviously, like, the boos were happening, and I felt like they were a little personal. So I was like, if you want to boo me, then, you know, F you. But I don't know what they were for. But at the end of the day, if you catch me at a time like that, you know, when I just poured my heart out to entertain everybody, and I just felt, once again, a little bit disrespected, and I don't play with that. So I had to say something and let them know.
Hey, look, you wear your emotion on your sleeve. I can totally respect that. Do you regret what you said, or you still stand by it?
I stand by it. I'm an honest person. Like I said, I'm authentic and I'm real, and people either love it or hate it. So I'm going to say how I feel no matter what, whether people like it or not.
Good for you. Now, Casey, what did you think of the comparisons to the memorable Iaquinta post-fight interview?
That was great. He's awesome. I love Iaquinta, but I never even thought about that until people started posting it. But, you know, I can see why he did it now, because it's kind of when a whole arena of people are booing you for no reason. And I think a couple of other comparisons were drawn of like Dustin Poirier and stuff saying something after the fight. So I don't know. It's great to fight in front of a crowd because the energy is amazing. But at the same time, I think they're a little bit spoiled at times. You know, my fight was great and it was definitely very entertaining. So to boo after a fight like that, it's like, why are you booing?
100%. Well, there was a lot of very positive things said about you after the fight as well. Like Daniel Cormier said in your post-fight interview that you broke the record for significant strikes in a 3-round fight. So do you feel like with that performance you sent a message to the rest of the division?
It wasn't my favorite performance because I didn't get the finish. You know, I've been trying to finish everybody all the time. That's always my goal. But someone like Roxy, who's been finished, I think, 3 times in 50 fights, she's tough to put away. She's you know, she'll just take punches and keep coming. So I was pretty proud of my performance. Just wish that I got the finish. But as I said, I'm 4-0 in the UFC now, and the rest of my fights have been finishes, and this one was a record-breaking performance. So I'd say it's safe to say that I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this definitely was your first decision in your UFC career. So even though you're not exactly so proud of it as you could be, what can you take away from this fight to help you moving forward?
I mean, for one, I had the most fun I've ever had in a fight, you know, being able to stand and bang. And I've always wanted to have like a bloody war where I was bleeding and they were bleeding and, you know, we were just like throwing down. So finally got to experience that, and that was fun. And, you know, I proved that I'm tough. I proved that I'm well-rounded. People used to say that I was only a grappler before this fight. And, you know, I proved that my striking is good as well now. So I think that I proved that I'm all-rounded and I can go 15 minutes with great cardio. I can throw a lot of punches. I proved a lot to people in this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, after that, I'm sure there'll be tons of opportunities for you in the near future. So when do you think you're going to be back in the Octagon? And do you by chance have an opponent in mind just yet?
I think that there's a lot of fights right now happening at flyweight that I want to see how they play out and see who wins and, you know, see where the standings are. I think there's like 4 or 5 semi-big fights coming up for the rankings at the moment. So I've also heard rumors of going back to Australia sort of end of the year. So I think I want to hold out and have another crowd fight if possible in Australia.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.